video on like bacon ragu. So I remember seeing something years ago, and it was Tom Parker Bowles, whose mother is married to the King of England, um, and he's a journalist and a bit of a cook. And he went back to school, and he was chatting to his old home economics teacher and thanked her for a dish that she cooked. She taught them how to cook at home and kind of basically look after themselves. And it was a Italian bacon and tomato sauce. And basically the secret of the sauce was lots of Italian bacon, lots of fatty Italian bacon in a tomato sauce which you then fried the bacon, rendered the fat out of it, and then added the tomatoes to it and cooked it down. So it was like this rich, fatty, bacony sauce. And it's always stuck in the back of my mind. And because I'm on this little bit of a cheaper ingredients type of bit of a kick at the moment, that I'm kind of quite curious what we can do with cheaper ingredients, and can we kind of compare them to can we make them taste as nice as better ingredients. I kind of think it would be a good thing to do. So I've got some cheap cooking bacon. It's about the cheapest way that you can buy meat. It's not necessarily bad quality bacon, it's just the ends of the bacon that they can't slice anymore, or they don't look particularly good rashers. So sometimes you get these bacon chops which are like huge, and you get maybe 5 or 6 in a kilo, and they're a little bit fatty, but that's a good thing. And it's like £1.50 for a kilo of bacon, and it's good quality bacon. It's not like it's cheap bacon that they've repackaged somewhere else. It's a mixture of different grades of bacon that they just can't sell, so they do it as cooking bacon. So I've got some cooking bacon, and then because my fingers, I've been touching bacon, and because it's now the end of the year, I've got my bacon left over from last year, so I make my own bacon every year and give some of it away as gifts and keep some of it to have as normal bacon, and then kind of dry it out even further. So this is my air dried bacon, which is essentially the kind of quality of bacon that you would get like an Italian pancetta? I can't pronounce Italian words. I'm not even good with my own language. So I've now got, this has been in the fridge air drying for a year, so I'm going to use this compared to that and see how we kind of turn out. My bacon is delicious. We'll kind of see what we can kind of do. And then because it's a cheap food thing, we've just got the cheap tomatoes from the supermarket. Those from Lidl, those from Sainsbury's. I've got 2 cans of each, so we'll use those 2 cans in one pan and those 2 cans in the other. So, and what we'll do with the homemade bacon is we'll cut the rind off, and we'll cook the rind in there. So we'll render this cooking bacon, we'll cut the fat off, and we'll render that down, and then we'll cube up the bacon into lardons, and we'll kind of fry that, and then we'll add the tomatoes on top of that. We're not going to drain off any of the fat. The fat is going to stay in, and then do the same with that. You don't need to kind of see me doing that. I'm just basically going to cut off the bacon and then slowly cook it in the pan, and then it'll render that fat out, and then we'll be able to fry the bacon, get it crisp, and then add the tomatoes in. So we'll be back when I am frying off the bacon. Yes, that's what we're doing. Bacon is crispy. So I can't remember if I said, but there was 250 grams worth of my home cured bacon, and there was 400 grams worth of the cheap cooking bacon. My thoughts were that my bacon has had a year worth of drying out, so there'll be less moisture in it. So therefore I wanted to use more, there'll be more moisture in the cooking bacon, so we need to kind of get that moisture out. So it looks like, if we put them side by side, that looks about right. The fat's come out of that. It's got crispy. I don't want it to go too far. There's obviously more fat come out of my bacon, so that's probably about the right kind of ratio. And then we need to remember which way this is. So that way, it's definitely a type of yeah, those are definitely what we call it. So we'll put one type of each tomato in each ragu, and then I think that's kind of, yeah, that'd be kind of quite right. So I've got 2 burners that are the same size, so I'll put those on the 2 burners and then it'll cook for the same amount of time. We'll probably put the lid on and then slowly kind of cook it down. As you can see, there's the one we've got, there's the skin there, which is going to add extra flavour. So back of the stove, and we'll go cook for 3 hours, something like that. So that'll give time everything for kind of sugars to come out of the tomatoes. We'll have a little bit of caramelization kind of going on. The flavours can combine. The flavour will come out of the tomatoes and go into the bacon. Bacon flavours will come out of the bacon and go in, and the fat, and go into the tomatoes, and it'll create a rich, nice, delicious ragu. And we should be able to see do a bit of a taste comparison. There we go. Nice and reduced, nice and shiny from the fat. This one was ready just that little bit earlier, so it's just a little bit cooler. How does it taste? That's a cheap cooking bacon, is that? That's good, is that? That's really good. That's another level though. God, that's seriously good, is that one? Of course, it's got year-aged bacon in it. So do it that way. Taste that one, and then go back to this one. So that was sweeter, more rounded in flavour, but that's very good. That's very good. You know, considering it's just cheap bacon. Not really good, you know, just with a simple pasta. Toss through that. That'd be lovely. That's another level though. It's probably down to the fat. Probably down to the fat content. You know, tasting them side by side, of course you can tell the difference. But both really good. That one's just slightly sweeter. Slightly sweeter. And it's got the fat to it. So you can taste the amount of fat that's in there, so it's got like a silkiness to it. But both really good. Oh, the pasta. They'd be really nice. They'd be both really nice. I suppose we should cook some over some pasta. Yeah, so we'll put it in a container and then we'll cook some pasta during the week. It'll be better tomorrow. Tasting, reheating. Anything that's like meat sauce, it always is. Stews, pie meats, all that type of thing. So we'll put it in a container, fish out the skin, and we'll cook some pasta during the week. And we'll toss it through 2 different types of pasta. Not two same types of pasta, and see what it's like. But they're both good, and consider that's cheap bacon and cheap tomatoes. Well worth doing. I've cooked some pasta, so let's see how this bacon ragu is. That's my homemade bacon. This is the cheap bacon, and I've just cooked some pasta, and we'll just hopefully add same amount of, that looks about right, so same amount of pasta to each bowl, a bit more in that one, and then a bit of the cooking water as well. This isn't the best way to do it, but I haven't got another pan. I have got another pan, but it's been used for something else, so I couldn't do 2 separate pans of pasta. So we'll just have to mix it around in the bowl and do it that way, and hopefully it'll all mix together. And kind of form a sauce. Really, I'd like to add the ragu to the pan and kind of toss it in the sauce, and then it carries on cooking in the sauce, and it kind of like flavour combines and it forms a sauce with the starch from the pasta. But there's a little bit of cross contamination with the tongs, but it's not that much pasta sauce on them. And we'll see how we go. If we think that the cheap bacon is thoroughly acceptable, which I think it will be. I think it is thoroughly acceptable. You know, use what you can and all that. There's a little bit more pasta in that one, but not to worry. So, cheap bacon first. I know it's not the right type of pasta, but it's nice. It's nice. But obviously my homemade. I can smell my homemade bacon and the ragu that it's made. It's got a little bit of a, because the bacon's old, it's got a bit of a funky flavour, a funky smell to it. Yeah, that's nicer. It's nicer. It's because of the fat and the age of the bacon that it's nicer. But do you know, there's nothing wrong with the cheap bacon ragu. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, well, it's different. It's because you're eating something side by side. It's different. But if you were just eating this by itself, you know, no complaints from anyone. It's still really good. It's still really good. It's just the age of the bacon and the amount of fat just makes that one just that little bit nicer. But both very nice, you know. So you can make a really good bacon ragu from cheap cooking bacon, which I kind of suspected. But if you really want to push the boat out, buy yourself some proper dry cured, quite old Italian bacon, and it makes an even better bacon ragu. But there you go, a success in whatever I was aiming for in the first place. Yeah, delicious.